level. And joining me now to talk more about this, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. He serves on 4 Senate committees, including the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he's the ranking member, and the Senate Appropriations Committee. And he's the author of a number of pro-life pieces of legislation. Senator Graham, welcome back to Washington Watch.
God bless you and your listeners. We need you now more than ever.
Well, let me ask you, were you surprised by the president's statement? Because I know you've had many conversations, because I've been involved in some of those with the president.
Yeah, no, we met with him. Here's what I would say. I think, it's a comma, not a period. This is tough politics. I get that. I admire the president. He was a great pro-life president. But we got to sit down and think and pray about what comes next for the pro-life movement. The Unborn Victims of Violence Act, that was my bill. It took 10 years. Partial birth abortion took 15 years. I've been told that my pain-capable limit on abortion at 15 weeks, we don't have the votes. I said, you're right, but you'll never have the votes unless you make an effort to get the votes. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to find consensus. Here's where consensus exists in America. At 15 weeks, the child can suck his thumb, capable of feeling pain. About 70% of Americans would limit abortion at 15 weeks. I understand the state rights issue to a point, Tony, but I am not going to sit on the sidelines and watch California, New York, and other states allow abortion on demand up to the moment of birth without trying to do something about it.
Let me ask you a clarifying question there for just a moment, Senator. Your legislation that you propose at the 15 weeks allows states to go further, like Oklahoma,
yes,
Louisiana. They can continue
100%.
to do what they're doing.
It's a minimum standard. It doesn't override state law. It puts a minimum. You can do what you want to at the state level up to a point, and I picked 15 weeks. Why did I pick 15 weeks? Because we know the pain, the baby can feel pain. You need Ben Carson on the show to explain what a child is like at 15 weeks. The French limit abortion at 14 weeks. 12 to 15 weeks is sort of the normal standard for European nations. I'm trying to get America to focus on the child, not geography.
Right.
See, the pro-life movement to me is about the well-being of the child. You find consensus where you can. This idea that it's a states' rights issue takes away from the fact that it's about the child all the time, every time. So geography is not the point of the pro-life movement. The point of the pro-life movement is protect unborn children to the best you can and find consensus. So, yes, states can be more restrictive, but at 15 weeks, my bill draws a line because the baby can feel pain.
Right.
And we need to be against late-term abortions.
And let me talk about that consensus for just a moment, Senator, because consensus is an educational process. You're bringing people along, and so we're having these conversations. Doesn't mean we stop there. I've been very clear on this. I am for protecting life from the moment of conception on, but I understand that in this republic in which we live and how we operate, we've got to come to a consensus on certain points. So we work, we get to a point, and then we work, and we get to another point. That's how it works.
Well, that's the way it works in your personal life. That's the way it works in your political life. Here's what I want the pro-life movement to be about: the child. Okay.
Right.
I want it to be a joyful movement. I want it to be helping the mother make good decisions. I want it to be a loving and caring movement. I don't want to say that there's no room in Washington for the unborn. I don't want to say to our nation that the Capitol is closed when it comes to protecting the unborn. It is a state issue. I agree with that up to a point. Then it becomes a human rights issue.
Right.
Remember the Dred Scott decision? There was a time in our country where some states could own slaves if they wanted to, and other states didn't have to. You know what we said? Nobody should own a slave.
Right.
There'll come a day when science and education by you, me, and others will convince the American people that late-term abortions are barbaric. And I am going to keep fighting this, advocating for this, because I do believe late-term abortions are barbaric.
And we can disagree in this process and work together. Like Donald Trump, I am assuming that your golf games will continue and you'll have conversations with him.
Listen, President Trump was a great president on the life issue. He was a strong commander-in-chief. I enthusiastically support him, but I'm not building, I'm in Congress and the Senate for a reason, and that's to advance the cause the best I can. I compromise with Democrats. I get conservatives mad because I'm trying to move the ball on immigration and other things. I try to be a practical guy, but well-grounded. My goal as a member of the Senate is to continue to educate the American people about the unborn and try to find consensus and protect them where we can. The Unborn Victims of Violence Act was my bill. It was the Lacey Peterson case. Me and Mike DeWine. It is now a federal crime to attack a pregnant woman.
We're up against a break. I hate to cut you off. We're up against a break. We've got to get you back to talk Iran, Israel later, but for now we got to go.